Hey, what's up guys, Jaeky here. Today we're going to be going over how to play Chamber on Lotus. So Lotus is one of the maps where I actually think Chamber is still pretty viable, and I do actually enjoy playing Chamber on this map. Obviously, if you're going for the meta Sentinel, it's going to be Killjoy, but in ranked, it's fine to play Chamber and actually have more fun playing Chamber than I do on Killjoy. So let's go over how to play Chamber and some setups that you can use both on attack and defense. Okay, let's start with the defense setups. The most common one that you're going to do is Chamber's really good at holding B and C. So you're going to put your trip right here for B main in the corner. And then we're going to go over to play C. So with your TP, you want to put it in this corner right here. This is the most standard setup that you can do for Chamber. So you can see here with your trip, it has the B main entrance covered. So anybody trying to lurk into B will get hit by this trip. And then with your TP, what you can do with this TP is fight mound. So when the round starts and the barrier drops, I like to go wide, and then you can take fights like all around mound right here. You can peek from the left, or you can peek from the right, or you can even play behind this box and play contact like this. So this TP allows you to pretty much fight this entire area, and you can also push up into this off angle right here. If there's no presence, you can push up into this off angle. And the nice thing with this setup is it allows you to pretty much solo the entire C side of the map, as well as B, so you can have your teammates lean towards A. So this is why this setup is so powerful. And then if they go B, you can also open the door and you can fight B main and still have a TP out. So very, very strong setup. This is probably the best Chamber setup right now. Let's go over the A setup. For the A setup, there's a couple different ways you can fight A. What I like to do is I like to put my TP up on this box, and then I put my trip behind the box, TP up on the box. So you do this all pre-round. So you want to TP up on the box pre-round, take your TP back, and then scoot out as far as you can and put your TP right here. And then with this position, you can hold like this, and you can catch people crossing over to rubble. You can also catch people peeking from rubble. You can ask for a smoke here and then hold like this if they like to TP across or dash over to rubble. And then so you get your pick with your op, or you can even rifle up here if you're confident. TP out, and then you're pretty much safe and you can do whatever from this point. The nice thing with this TP is after you TP out, if they're defaulting and you really don't see any presence, you can move up with this TP, take some space, and then you can go for this aggressive angle as well. So you can hold this A line right here, and then now you're in a really good spot to get any people coming back to A, and then you can also still TP back into safety. So that's the nice thing about this TP. Instead of putting it on the box, you can also just put it here to begin with and then go for an aggro fight. I like doing this on pistol round, where I put my TP here and then I go up for the aggressive pick, and then I can always use this to TP out. So that's another way to play your A setup. Okay, let's talk about the aggressive B setup. I don't really do this that often, unless the enemy team hits B a lot, or it's like an eco round where I think this play will work. But basically what you want to do is put your TP right here in this corner, and then as the barrier drops, you want to put your TP aggressively in this corner and then move over to the box. And then basically what I do is I just play contact off my trip. So as soon as my trip activates, I will swing off of it, go for kills, and then you can have your TP to get out safely. So that's the B setup that you can do on Chamber. With this TP, if you don't want to put the trip down, you can also just put your TP down and then go for the aggressive B push and take the B line. So if you're opping as well, you can scoot up here and just take this B line, and then you can cut rotators that are rotating. Okay, so those are all of the basic defense setups for Chamber. Let's go over attacking now. So for attacking on A site, what I like to do is put your TP in this corner right here. And then as the barrier drops, I put my TP, or I put my tripwire right here in the middle of the doorway. If they have a raise, I like to wait for the raise nade, because if they raise nade, it will break your trip. So if they have a raise, wait out the nade and then put your trip down. If you put it right in the middle of the doorway, it's pretty much impossible for anyone to get around. Even if they jet smoke it, it's pretty much impossible for them to walk through without at least triggering it. So that's why I put it right in the middle of the doorway. And I put my TP in the corner so I can take this fight onto this angle as well as stairs. And if there's any danger, I can always TP out. This TP is also good for beating the raise nade. So if you have an op, or if you have Chamber Sheriff, what you can do is actually go out as they're nading. You can sometimes catch the raise throwing the nade. So you can catch the raise throwing the nade, and then you can TP out and not take any damage from the nade. So that's also why this TP is good. After you take a main control, if you have your TP back, I like to put it in this corner right here. And then this basically allows me to basically hold this entire A main space. With this trip, you actually can't go into tree with your team, or you can't go very far. You can get to about here, and then your trip deactivates. So if you're playing chamber on this map, you want to path through a main instead of through tree. You can let your teammates go through tree, but if you're playing chamber and you have your trip there, you want to go through a main because you want to stay in range of your trip. And then with your TP in this corner, you can hold the stairs push for your team and basically control this entire space right here. Okay, let's talk about defaulting. So if I'm defaulting, what I like to do is I will wait for the barrier to drop, and then you can put your trip deep either in this corner, or you can clear all of this, go out even further, and then put your trip right here. With this trip, you can work pretty much the entire map. You can work over on either A site, or you can work towards C, which is what I usually do. So if I'm defaulting, I'll put my trip deep into B so they can't push up and take that line, and then we can just default towards A and C, take some control, see what happens. So that's the default trip that I do for working default. Okay, so if we're going C, I like to put my trip right here. This allows you to get a little bit more space into sight and actually fight up to here. But the thing with this trip is if the enemy is aware of it, what they can do is actually go wide like this, and they won't activate your trip, and they can hold this angle and pick off your teammates. So if you want to do a little bit more of a safer trip, you can put it behind these boxes right here. Putting it behind these boxes will catch anybody who's coming up, and they won't be able to get any picks before your trip activates. But keep in mind, you won't have as much range on your trip, so it's really up to you which one you want to do. But after I put my trip down, your TP will go into this corner right here as you're scaling sight. So you put your TP in this corner, and then you take sight with your team. I like to path this way with this TP and fight water with it. So this TP pretty much allows you to fight water. I think it's pretty nice fighting water with this TP. If you ask for a flash from your initiator, typically you'll have a breach on this map, so you can ask for a flash from your breach, and then you can take water control. Ideally, you want to take up to here and take all of this control. You can see if I put with this trip, I'm still in range as I path into waterfall. So that's the nice thing about this trip, is it allows you to path all the way into waterfall while still staying in range, so you still have flank covered. So yeah, with this TP, you can fight into waterfall, take all of this control, and still get out safely if you're in danger. So that's the nice part about that TP. So yeah, that's pretty much the C setup. Oh yeah, I didn't go over the trips for B. So if you're going B, I just like to put my trip like literally right here. Or you can move it up like that. And then TP you can either put here, or you can put on the left side. It's really up to you. And then you can take sight with this and fight and TP out. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That was how to play chamber and all of the basic setups for chamber on Lotus, both defense and attack. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.